Hey folks, and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to talk about the asset strength histogram. So the asset strength histogram is a piece of software that we created to help us see divergent strengths in assets. And this can be used in currencies. It can also be used on crypto or commodities or anything else that your MT4 broker has available to you. But the power of it is its visual representation of what is going on. So what you can see here is the histogram, which is at the bottom of the chart. We have the histogram part, which is the gray area, and we have a few different lines. Okay, so the line above, the green line here, this denotes an extremely high price for this given asset, and so we can expect that when price begins to move above this green line, then we can expect it to move back towards the mean. And the same for the red line down here. When the price of this asset moves beyond the red line, well, then we can expect it to move back and revert to the mean. And the beautiful thing about this, the recent update, is that we have now included these dots that you can see. We have red dots when the histogram is above the zero line, and we have green dots when the histogram is below the zero line. And what these are showing us is they are showing us bar to bar divergence. So when you can see price wriggle above a green line, the histogram move above the green line, then you start to print these red bars. Well, then we are seeing something that is very important. We are seeing a divergence in what the strength of this asset is doing, the underlying strength relative to the price. And so when you see a dot like this form, just here, it's telling us that we are seeing higher highs on the price, but the underlying strength of the asset is declining, as can be seen here in the histogram. And so when you get the first dot, red dot here above the the green line, well, then we know that we can expect price to move away from that. And the same applies when the histogram moves below the red line, which is the negative territory. When we start to print these green dots here, well, then we're being told that we can expect the price is going to move back towards some kind of an agreed value for this asset. And so we have a very clear visual representation of what the price of this asset is doing. And when you combine this with the supply and demand software, then you have a really good understanding of what is going on. Okay, so if we use this as an example, this was a 1 hour area of supply that was drawn on the chart, and this was drawn on the chart when this red candle here closed. So we had plenty of time to know that the price of this asset would likely react at here. And so what we're seeing is when price pokes into the area here, you can see that the histogram is moving above this dotted white line, and the dotted white line is telling us that we are entering the beginning of a sell zone. When we are above the zero line and below the zero line, we are entering a buy zone. And so the fact that price moved above this area here at an area of supply, and we started to print these red dots, well, this is telling us very clearly that we are very likely going to start to move away from that. And you'll see this happening all the time, and it's a very powerful way to understand what this tool is doing. Another thing that is very useful is the mean. And so you can see here we have an orange line or a yellow line here in the middle, and this is giving us an exponential moving average of the histogram. And this is quite powerful because we can see this is where the major flows are. So if we zoom out a little bit, and you can see that we started to have a positive slope on the mean line here from about, I suppose, down here when it turned around. So from around this price point here, we started to turn positive, and the asset prices began to increase from this level. Okay, so it's a very powerful tool that can be used on anything. You can use it on cryptocurrencies if we have a look at Bitcoin. And as a matter of fact, the histogram that alerted us that we should begin to sell the Bitcoin American dollar before this big sell-off occurred. If we have a look at when they started to occur, you can see here that we were being told to sell here. We were being told that we should start to look to sell around here. And then we were continually being warned that we were going to see some kind of a sell-off in Bitcoin for weeks prior to the big crash. You can also see here that despite the fact that we have the price for this asset increasing, the histogram is going down. So this is again giving us a very clear indication that we're very likely going to start to move lower. And this is what indeed happened in the following days. So the tool is very powerful, and it can be used on pretty much anything. You can use it on currencies, on commodities, absolutely anything that your MT4 broker has available to you. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any questions, please drop them in the video or shoot me an email or in the Discord channel, and thanks for watching.